Good afternoon. This is Dr. Bonsai, Dr. Bonsai's Meme Emporium. Surprise unboxing, or unbagging, rather. This is Steve Jackson Games Ogre's Miniature Set 4, which is kind of a mouthful, but they did a crowdfunding thing on BackerKit, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll have this out by June. And I'm like, okay, fine. This is like a $50 investment for me, so it's like whatever. I'll just throw it out there because I'm actually having a lot of fun playing the board game and using the miniatures that I got to replace the cardboard counters. I'm having a good time with that, and I had a shipping notification on Friday, and now they're here. So that just insane lightning shipping. So what this is for people that don't know kind of the Ogre universe, the Ogreverse, if you will. There's two basically giant competing global powers. One is the North American Combine and the Pan-European Union. I think that's what it's called. So these are miniatures for the North American Combine. The ones that I reviewed previously, the blue ones, the blue colored ones, those are for the Pan-European Union. The Ogres are actually, they actually did something clever in the lore, such as it is, where they're like, oh yeah, the Ogres, they you know, the designs got deployed and stolen and this, that, and the other thing, and everybody has access to it. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. So that's where we're at with these minis, actually. So we've got basically red miniatures that look different stylistically and visually from the ones that came in the original Ogre's Miniature 1 box. And when I say unbagging, this is literally how it came. There was no nice little box like my previous review is. Literally, no, just plastic bag. But yeah, so let's get started. Now, something that I noticed is parts count on some of these is kind of higher. So these are actually from a previous Kickstarter crowdfunder they did called Miniature Set 3, which is basically like two of these giant miniatures. One is the Doppelsoldner and the Ogre Mark 6. So the Doppelsoldner is basically like the Pan-European equivalent of an Ogre that's more proprietary versus the, oh boy, oh wow, look at that. Okay, so this is a little bit of a mess. So you have, you know, the big shell, and then it's like that. And then you have 4 track units. All right, yeah. 4 track units that look like they just plug into, oh yeah, look at that. They just plug into the top. And then these guns look like they plug, well, let me see here. So there's no instructions, obviously, because what you get in the bag is what you get in the bag. Ah, stop. Look at that. Okay. So the big main battery turret doesn't really want a friction fit. Should, but I don't know. If you just gotta. Okay, so it looks like it's a thing where you have to press it. Well, maybe not. So sometimes it works. I think it's about how much friction. So basically, you just load up all these battleship guns on the side of the thing, and you could probably just keep them like loosey goosey, and you can just aim them or whatever, or probably zap them down with glue. I'm probably gonna zap them down with glue. So that is Doppelfolder, 1 sprue, one kind of a half sprue thing. And then you have the Ogre Mark 6, which is like an Ogre Mark 5, but with 3 of these main battery gun blisters, and then even more missiles, or no, the same amount of missiles as a Mark 5, and then the same amount of secondary gun batteries. And then you have the different tracks that basically pop in to the little holes. Should be nice and simple. Should be pretty fast assembly. You know what's not going to be fast assembly? these miniatures. I was I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think there's some design decisions that I think could have been handled better. So let me just open this little fella up here. All right, so we get one big bag, and then each of these are individually bagged. So the first one that we're seeing here is the Ogre Mark 1 and 2. So you have Mark 1, Mark 2, 3, there is no 4, Mark 5, and Mark 6. So I don't know why there's no Mark 4. I don't know if there's any actual difference. Maybe somebody that knows the Ogre deep lore. Oh. There we go. Oh, okay, there we go, because I am smart. Okay, there we go. So, there we go. So these are basically like the first ogres that were ever created. You have the Mark 1 and the Mark 2. So you have, oh, okay. So you got 2, all right, so you get the 2 here. I'm going to assume those are, yeah, these are the Mark 2 because they're bigger. And then this is the Mark 1, which basically that cannon pops in there, so it's and then the tracks go on the bottom. And then I'm not entirely sure what these are for. They're like spare tracks, but they don't look like they live in either one of the others. So I'm gonna have to do some studying about that. So there's that. And then you have, these are, they're called mobile howitzers. So basically they're like the howitzer figures where they're just like a big base plate, but instead they have tracks. So they're, if you're playing like a game of, like a board game of Ogre, they're going to be points-wise more expensive, but they're also going to be more versatile because they can move. So, oh, okay. So this is the, okay, got it. So this is the, okay, so these are the howitzers. This is a design choice I don't care for, the separate tracks. I feel like that adds an unnecessary level of complexity. But the turrets look like they're going to pop in and swivel flying. And then you have, these are the missile tanks. And again, at this scale, it's like, why are we doing the separate tracks? Like, I'm sure there's probably some sort of mold draft issue that I'm not aware of because I'm just a dumb YouTuber. But so there's that. So these are the missile tanks. These actually look pretty slick. These, and the thing is, the detail is fairly consistent, so it's not like there's going to be a huge detail jump between these and the ones that you have already. And these are the light tanks. So if you are a BattleTech fan, oh boy. Okay, so these little things are actually the gun barrels that fit there. They really didn't, these didn't need to be separate pieces. That just, it's not required. That's not necessary. So, so there's that. And then, oh, this will be fun because this is the infantry. And so, like, whenever somebody tells you, oh, it's really hard to make power armored infantry, it's like, well, if we look at Steve Jackson games and we look at how big their portfolio is versus like how much Catalyst has been raking in, like, what's Catalyst's excuse that we don't have like hard plastic infantry on oh, okay, so these are like hover trucks. So this, I think, as I discussed in my previous video, yeah, Roadrunner GEV PC, Ground Effect Vehicle Personnel Carrier. So what these are is they have these little slots in there. So what you do is you pop one of these guys in there, you pop it in that slot, and then you're supposed to like just like pinch it from the bottom and like take it off. I'm probably just going to glue mine in because based on my experience I had with the blue ones, I did not have a good time. I just did not try to get those things in and out. So, and then you have the traditional kind of howitzers, which are, you know, again, if you're playing like a tabletop game of Ogre, or if you're playing whatchamacallit, if you're playing a traditional game of Ogre and you want to play your pan-European forces versus your, you know, your opponents, you know, ogres or the Doppelsoldner, you can use these. And of course, if you're playing the actual tabletop miniatures game they have for this, you can. And these are the Gremlin LGEV. So these are light ground effect vehicles. Basically what these do is they can move twice a turn. All GEVs can. So basically there's a movement phase, a shooting phase, and a second movement phase. Everything pretty much only moves in the first movement phase unless it's a GEV. So like the PCs or the other tanks, GEVs, they can move. So there's that. And these are two pieces, and this shouldn't be very traumatic to put together. It's a nice little swarm of stuff. And then you have these, which are kind of like your heavy tank equivalent. Again, the separate tracks, don't care for that. But, you know, I've said that to death, so I'm going to stop harping on it. So, and then these are the infantry. So as you can see, fairly nicely detailed for all you Battletech players out there. Yes, yes indeed. Yes indeed, Battletech. A Battletech adjacent, yes. So there's that. And then, man, the way they folded some of these up is kind of obtuse. So there's that. There we go. There we go. Now this is kind of the fun part. So these are super heavy tanks. So these are like, okay, gotcha. So these are super heavy tanks in the actual like infantry bases. So, okay. So these are big, like they call them super heavy tanks, but they're more like tank destroyers. So you can kind of see like the close defense kind of blisters on top and on the side. I'm assuming that's what this is. Might be a hatch. So it looks like what you do is you take the guns, you put them in the superstructure, you drop the superstructure onto the hull, and then you pop the treads into the bottom of the hull. So yeah, looks just big chunky boys. I think these will be good demolisher proxies if you're a Battletech player. And then you have these, your standard, I guess medium standard GEVs. These turrets are microscopic. Like I can't reinforce how tiny those are, but they are ridiculously small. So this is going to take tweezers and patience, and fortunately they have a nominal locating lug, and you put that in there, and then this part looks like it maybe slots into the bottom, I don't know. But these are like your standard kind of like ogre game of ogre combat, you know, versions. And then you have the actual infantry, and again you get, so basically that last one that I showed you was it looks like what they did is they took a pair of sprue cutters and they cut it at these points, and then those guys just went with the GEV PCs. And then again, the whole point behind these is that you put these little kind of, I don't even know what you would call them, like friction clips into the thing, and then as you take casualties or you combine or separate squads, you pop them off the base. I'm not playing that game because, like I said, last time I tried that, I didn't have a great time. It was not fun for me. I did not care for it. So overall, pretty good, pretty decent. I want to say my all-in number with shipping was like $100. So you get a giant pile of plastic that you can use for, you know, whatever you want for BattleTech or play Ogre. I'm actually gonna go down the rabbit hole because I think the Steve Jackson Games has the Ogre tabletop rules for $10. $10 on their website, and it's like, okay, well, don't threaten me with a good time. So that's that. I'm not gonna do what I did last time, which is build all of them and put them together, because those ones were substantially easier to put together. If I do that, I'm gonna do just like a straight comparison, like I'm just gonna build all this and I'll do a separate video. Let me know if you want to see that. Comment below, like, subscribe, go touch grass. There's been a lot of negativity in the hobby space about stuff that's happening with Catalyst Game Labs, with Games Workshop, with a lot of your favorite properties, and I feel that being offline helps. It helps rejuvenate your love for the systems that you have. It's easier to block out the noise. It's just easier. So do yourself a favor, get some sun. It's getting nicer. It's getting to be springtime. Hug your friends and family, go out, do something, be happy. Get some distance between yourself and kind of the septic nature of online discourse, and I think you'll be happy that you've done that. So that's it. Thanks, guys. Bye.